everyone, welcome back to Play Casket with your hosts, Baraka the Goblin
and Ghost, your co-host.
And this is our 2023 or 2022 retrospective into 2023, basically.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be like looking back. We've actually did a lot of big changes this year. Like, it's been kind of crazy. Like, we're doing that like traditional, oh, look how cheesy it is, you're doing all this nonsense, blah 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 blah, whatever. We're still doing this because it's honestly, it feels like it's a good way to kind of get us in the proper gear and set of mind of what we're going to be doing in the next year. So first off, we end up having a brand new studio after I knocked out one of the walls in the mausoleum.
Awesome.
So this is basically what you're hearing everything in now. A lot less of the weird fridge that we had wired up and yelling at us. We now have just random spirits being awoken at periodic times. We got some foam in here, got some soundboard, making sure this sounds a little bit more professional
and very sexy.
Yes. Just maybe one of these days I could just like record it while I'm like screaming random Smash Brothers narrator type voices and stuff. I'm like, play Casket. No, but yeah, that's one of our major ones. That's like, I didn't think that would be a situation that we would have had at the beginning of this year.
Yeah.
You know, I honestly, I was thinking that we were going to start trying to do some streaming, which we did do a couple things. We just keep having a conflict with our scheduling. And I would like to actually, we're addressing that said conflict. We're going to start doing it a bit more in the coming year. Ta-da, see? We're thinking Fridays. And, you know, like, we tried some small things, and it just didn't pan out the way we wanted to. And then eventually we were able to kind of move into this new studio last minute. Like, it was just kind of a big surprise for all of us in the summer, and there we go. You know, exciting, everyone. So what did you think about that? Like, what was the biggest changes that you think was happening for us this year?
I don't know. I would say, me personally, it's a lot easier to just, like, once we started getting into the rhythm of things, it's a lot easier to just talk. Like, it's good to break out of my shell, I guess, because I could just barely do like 20 minutes. Now it's just like, oh yeah, we could talk forever now.
Yeah, we could talk for 40 minutes now. Because we literally just finished a Your Turn episode for another 40 minutes. Because you would think that we would at least try to keep a tab on that, but we're like, no, we got opinions, guys.
Talking about 4 games, yeah.
Just talk about 4 games, absolutely. But yeah, it's funny because when you say that, there's people out there that are like, man, how do I start becoming a YouTuber and stuff, right? And we're not even that popular, right? Mm-hmm. We are literally like maybe 50 to 70 people who actually watch us on a daily, you know, maybe consistently because we're in their feed or something. But if you do that and you're not subscribed, just subscribe, man. Just like we have some
subscribe.
Stuff. Yeah, smash that like and subscribe button. They're all the same buttons now. Just hit all the buttons. Make sure everything lights up, and you know, live a happy life. I guess I don't know. Maybe it gives you a happy Christmas or something. I don't know, but honestly, like, I think us doing this from the very get-go, it would be kind of crazy for somebody to kind of use this as a reference to see like where we're growing and how fast we are growing, and kind of be like, look, it starts here. Like, it literally does. And I think that this is a really good way to do it. You know, like, we are not that big. We planned on being it, you know, and we're going to treat it that way. We celebrate major little sacrifices that we have, or not sacrifices, little victories that we gain. We make little sacrifices for those victories, and you know, we just slowly crawl up, you know. And for a lot of people who probably are trying to die to become a YouTuber and stuff, they're hoping that they just hit their next big break, and I don't think that happens for a lot of people.
Yeah,
like it takes a while, and
it's like you got to do what's trendy, be provocative, and then even then you'll get pigeonholed into like stuff you don't want to do.
Yeah,
like,
and because the trends will change, and then you're gonna be like, oh, I gotta do like Skatebird or some other weird bullcrap.
And then you do it, and then your
you are
your views
officially
tank, and then you're like, oh shit, well I gotta go back to streaming League of Legends again. Like,
yeah, basically. So, we're just a video game entertainment, basically. We talk video games, we talk nerd stuff. We don't get into too much politics, namely because, honestly, for the most part, most of the politics kind of move so damn fast that by the time we're able to kind of do a recap, it's already changed like 3 times.
yeah. Plus, it's good to get away from that shit, anyways.
And so our main goal isn't like, oh, we're gonna be non-political. Honestly, like the politics part is gonna probably be what makes us grow more for the most part. But I think our content, and I think our content's focus is more gonna be evergreen content. And that's why we have Your Turn. It's more of a recap of some interesting stories in the week. We're not gonna be those daily, hey guys, did you know that Nintendo hinted with a mustache hair? Click on find out more, and it's really like it's the stupidest crap.
All the weird cryptic bullshit. I hate those so much.
And and honestly, some of those people have a good vibe on like that and stuff. But there is stuff that's, I don't know. It just, I feel like making our content like Your Turns is more like, hey, this past week this turned out to be this way.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. I think it's this, and some of this, some rumor talking and stuff, just predicting what stuff could be fun, and sometimes we do that. But for the most part, I think honestly, we're just want to try to be more evergreen content that people can actually listen to and kind of gain perspective and stuff like that from stuff that's happening on a grander scale. Maybe think about all their favorite times on Nintendo because they listened to the 64 episode, or they listened to the Smash retrospective episode and stuff like that, which was early. It's early stuff, so it's gonna be weird, in a few years, but I still think that'll be worth a listen to then.
Yeah.
That's my main goal with this whole thing. I want to make content that's more of evergreen video game talk,
Yeah.
And we do have plans on getting back into the Casket talk, which is our main thing. It was just trying to find a new rhythm, and I think our rhythm is going to start getting into it just fine, and we'll probably might be able to upload that sometime in the next 3 weeks.
Okay.
So we'll probably see. We literally have 2 other recordings from our old studio that I have not been able to upload and get it ready, simply because of that fact. So hold on tight. We're going to actually have those things up, and we're going to start be doing those Casket talks more regularly again. And we're going to have a blast. I think we're going to have a blast. So, and yeah, it's been great, honestly. It's been more and this type of thing gives me kind of a reflect of a lot of stuff, and I think a lot of our viewers, all 12 of you, we'll listen to some of this and be like, this is kind of weird how these guys are just rolling through. This goblin, this ghost is just rolling through, and
we want it to be fun. We want you to join in, and we want you to be inspired to make your own content.
And honestly, you gotta celebrate your small victories.
Yeah.
At the recording right now, I think we have 57 subscribers, but we periodically, depending on our content and the algorithm, because sometimes they'll just throw. So the algorithm works on our stream, not on our thumbnail. So whatever we add streaming, we'll get the weirdest views sometimes. And we even had a hate watcher for a little bit.
Yeah.
That was fun. I didn't feed into it, but it was just one of those oh, you're wasting your time spending it on me, and you hate me. I feel special.
Now I'm watching Raid Shadow Legends.
Raid Shadow Legends. Now that's funny because at the time of this recording too, the spirit boards for Christmas, I did a troll with the Raid Shadow Legends character and stuff like that, orc named Gallic or Gaelic or something like that, and it's had more responses out of that than basically the only other ones that would get more responses is Klonoa, Raymond, and Earthworm Jim content.
Okay.
Everything else kind of hit and miss, and I'm this is a little weird. I thought I was going to get more rage from it or something. But at the same time, I don't really interact too much on Twitter and stuff. I'll just log in, do some punches, and I go through the feed and comment on a couple things and carry on. I only have 20 followers on that. Big deal.
Yeah.
It's not important, but my importance is who's watching our content. And and we had somebody on Rumble that was like consistent too, like a consistent viewer for a while, and she's gone too. But it's fun, you know.
Yeah.
And you gotta think, and you gotta take this approach like, oh no, you know, I only have, I only have 3-digit viewers. It doesn't matter. Eventually, those 3-digit viewers are gonna be 4 digits and 5 digits and stuff like that, and you're gonna have more people watching. Period.
Start small.
You know,
You go insane.
and just celebrate the small victories. Like, don't just
do
make
what you want. It's so ridiculous that and
everybody
wants to be everybody wants to do what's trendy. And it's like,
well, they want to be like, I think one of the reasons why they want to do trends a lot is because not only will it get them the most viewers immediately, they want to be like PewDiePie was to Minecraft. Like, they want to be that next the character to that person, which is actually genuinely garbage at the end, because then you're stuck there when the game gets shit.
and then trends change, and you're gonna be stuck as being that trend.
Absolutely. That's another problem with it, you know, like, so, you know, do what you want, like, that's fun, and like, people will not watch you just because the content you play, but the content you provide, the commentary you provide, the weird stuff you provide with that, you know. Like, there's a guy that's out there that plays crappy versions of Dark Souls, you know. And it's not because everyone's a Dark Souls fan. You know, a lot of them are, but this is because he's like, he does this, and it's because people are like, dude, there's so many weird Dark Souls wannabe games out there, and he does breakdowns.
Yeah.
You know, that's his thing. And eventually, like, it slowly picks up. There's people out there that are doing like Smash Brothers, like character analyses and stuff, that even now, you know, and they take off with it, and they're not on the trend anymore. Smash Brothers isn't really much of a trend anymore. You know, like, it's not hip to try to predict what's the next character when there's no next character to be predicting.
Yeah.
You know, but it's fun, like, because honestly, I think it's funner now to talk about something like that because it's not as serious anymore.
Yeah.
You can just talk about the idea. What would it be like if said character was in it? You know, it's stuff like that. And some people are making a pretty decent living off of that, you know. And honestly, it's just one of those, literally, start small.
Yeah.
We are literally, we're not worried about the fact that we don't have thousands of people viewing us, you know.
Yeah.
We are really content with the fact that, like, we'll get 50 to 100 views per our video right now, and we're not like content to a point where, like, oh, this is all we need and stuff. It's just, it's great that a lot of people are watching our stuff, and some people maybe even rewatching it, you know. It's great, and I love the fact that several of you guys have supported that, and I am really grateful about it, you know. And I hope that the future we're going to start doing some streams and stuff a lot more consistently. Sometimes just me, sometimes just Ghost, sometimes both of us. Maybe we could even resurrect somebody else to drag their carcass in here and stream it too, you know. Maybe we can invite Kevin to do it. Maybe you could do commentary while we play fighting games. Who knows? The sky is the limits here. You know, we can enjoy it. But you just gotta celebrate your small victories.
Yes.
Because those small victories will eventually steamroll to big ones. You know? And we are not worried about not hitting the big time. You know? And we would like it. We would like to. But to that point, in that journey, like, we are enjoying what we're doing.
Well, I mean, we also should do stuff on the side as well too. So.
Oh yeah, we have a couple other little ideas that are coming down the pipeline that's on the side.
More plans.
Yeah, more plans. We got plans within plans of other plans. On a plane with plans. You know, plane plans. They're going over our planes. So stuff like that. So, is there any future plan you want to actually like mention or hint at all that you would like to kind of give people to know about?
Oh man, if I forget to do these, they're gonna crucify me for it. But fuck it, I guess we'll say. I'll just say it. We'll start doing some game reviews too.
Yep.
So
we'll be doing some game reviews. We've been kind of doing some recording and stuff like that.
The hard part is just trying to figure out like what's a good consistent
Rhythm. Yeah.
rhythm or like structure that won't suck. Because I want to be.
It's digestible too.
Yeah, they gotta be. You gotta be able to understand what's. If somebody who watches it and like, oh, I should buy it, or if it's just kind of like, oh, here's a retrospective and it's a 1 hour long video of why why the why the Dark Souls character carries this pendant, like shit like that. Like,
yeah. No, we'll probably do some like deep dive things eventually, but I feel like too many people already do a lot of them on the topics we do like to talk about.
Do it on some really obscure game that nobody.
Yeah, but that would require us to like that obscure game. You know,
Yeah.
like I could probably do a deep dive on Codenames Team, but there isn't that much depth to it necessarily.
Okay. Gotcha.
But so it wouldn't like be very deep, but it would be a cool idea that we have. But yeah, we're gonna be doing game reviews. And yes, we're going to try to beat them, and yes, we're going to be recording them, and yes, we're going to be having some problems with that for a moment. So, some of our first reviews, feedback would be great. You know,
and
we'll just move forward with that. And then, anything else that you'd like to hint at?
I would say non-gaming stuff too as well.
We touched a couple of stuff. We did do some anime stuff. We did do and we will kind of expand more. But
Jesus
more
Christ,
nerd
anime
stuff.
Is like such a huge time sink too.
Yeah, it's gonna be heavy, like with the anime stuff. But at least we have some people who can cover like the review parts.
Yeah.
But talking about like key points, like if there are certain things worth mentioning in anime and stuff like that, we would definitely mention it.
Yeah.
Like for instance, if we were more involved, we would probably have talked about the release of Chainsaw Man or something.
Yeah.
In that type of retrospect. But we're gonna try some stuff. We're gonna start doing a bit more art. So we're gonna have a lot more different changes and stuff. We'll probably have some artists to start doing like more variations of our intros and outros. So we'll actually have artists represented from Minds, from Truth, from Gab, from various areas everywhere. Hopefully soonish.
Yeah.
And kind of give them props too for doing some stuff for us as our intros and stuff. And they won't just go away. They'll be in rotations and stuff like that to kind of mix it up a little bit for people who view our videos, not just listen to them. But there's that stuff. How about we talk about more on games themselves, stuff that everyone's excited about, not just us. As much as I like talking about us, because we're pretty cool.
Well, I do have to say, the game of the year, Elden Ring, yeah, right.
What? Not Red Dead Redemption? This is horseshit.
Call of Duty, right? It came out only a couple months ago, and it got it. Yeah.
Take your fucking NFT disc out of here.
Okay, so just playing Elden Ring, I was surprised. Like, I went into it blind too. Like, for the most part, I didn't follow the hype for it or anything like that, because like hype it, even if it was a good game, if you overhype yourself for it, it'll be more disappointing. Despite how
and you'll see weird bugs in it, and it'll just irritate you even more too. It's the dumbest shit.
So, but yeah, I went into it blind, and it was like really good, and I was surprised to how much stuff was actually cut. Like, because even just the way it is, it's like already good. But I was surprised to how many things that were cut, especially the main storyline. Because if you look at the was it like the trailer versus the opening cinematic is like completely different. Because I'm pretty sure they're like, okay, well, because from what I heard, it was supposed to have like a consistent storyline, and then eventually it just became this like vague storyline to what the Souls series kind of do. So,
and honestly, I feel like that's far more efficient for that type of game, though.
Yeah.
Like honestly, like in the long run, that approach has been serving them so well. Why change something that isn't broken?
Yeah. So,
like that's one of the things that I believe that they did well.
Yeah.
From an outsider, looking in, because I did not play the game.
So, really, it was such a good game. If you haven't played it, go play it. Holy shit! Like, it's got a lot of people too who never touched the series or like played it as their first series, because just the accessibility of like the open world and playing torrent makes everything like easy mode, because you can move faster as you're attacking, so and you can come back to it. So it's got everything, man. I don't know what else to say, but just it's a good game that like I don't know if they can one up themselves. So if Elden Ring 2 comes out,
I think, and we talked about this before. I think what they learned from Elden Ring, they're going to transfer over to Dark Souls, because I think making an Elden Ring 2 will require like, what's his name, the George R.R. Martin.
Yeah, to come back.
To come back and sign off on another story or something to that point. Because otherwise, I think a lot of people will just be like, oh, I don't really want to try it because what if the story sucks now because so-and-so's story isn't in, writer isn't in here and blah, blah, blah. I think they will probably just default going back to Dark Souls, but using what they learned from Elden Ring to kind of further cement the improvements of Dark Souls.
Yeah.
I think I think that can easily be a situation that happens.
Okay.
But yeah, so I'm gonna talk about one too. So I didn't really play many AAA games and get really hyped and stuff. I did buy a bunch. I did kind of dabble with a bunch of them and stuff. But one that actually impressed me, and only because the scope of the game in and of itself kind of led to the fact that it might be worse off. Like it was like Brace for Impact type of game, and what better? It proved to be much better than I expected. It's by no means one of the greatest games and you should play it, but like if you're a Sonic fan, Sonic Frontiers was actually really good.
Oh, okay.
Like really good. It doesn't play like the way like Sonic Adventure and all these other 3D Sonics and stuff play, where they're all courses and stuff. There is courses in the game that you have to go to certain like weird temple things, kind of like how you go into the temples for solving puzzles in Legend of Zelda, similar to that in that type of like approach. And you do the courses, you know, find the red rings, get it there in a certain amount of time, do certain tricks, S rank it, boom. That's basically how a lot of Sonics were, all since Sonic Adventure. Like that's basically it, right? But your little hub world basically is also your main world, which is exploration, and it's basically a giant sandbox of all the weird nifty tricks Sonic can do.
Yeah.
Like that's basically what it is. Like loop-de-loops and all that. Like there's this rings and strings and all sorts of rails on stuff just everywhere. So it looks like there's a YouTube like channel, I think, that was called like Sonic 2020 or something like that, and it was a dude that was just doing like sandboxy stuff to test like certain mechanics in his little quote unquote Sonic fan game. It feels a lot like that. Like it genuinely feels a lot like that as far as the overworld part.
Yeah, I kind of got the feeling too, just seeing like the trailers to where like,
and it's responsive. It does have the weird floaty jumps that Sonic has and stuff. But I was expecting kind of like a slog, like again, you know, like Sonic Forces. Like I was expecting another Sonic Forces. Like it was going to be a painful to do. Like I wanted
this course. You want to get further.
I wanted a good Sonic game. Like
Gotcha.
Now I'm not a huge Sonic fan. I do enjoy some good Sonic games. I enjoyed Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, in spite of the fact they aged like fine milk. I enjoyed them. I just wish Sonic Frontiers brought back like a Chow Garden, and it would have probably been the best Sonic game in forever. But that doesn't make it the best game ever. Like the best Sonic game that has happened since they moved to 3D.
Okay.
Like it's very good, and I think people should really give it a go. I think it should really get the praise that it deserves. But it was a huge surprise for me.
Gotcha.
It was not by no means one of the best games I've played this year. But it was literally like a tie between the best surprises this year, which was a Korean game developer, and I picked up like 1 and 2 at the same time, of Dusk Diver, which is some kind of like action game, very basic and stuff, but it actually plays very well. The story's pretty nice. The character designs are really well done. And Sonic Frontiers. I think Sonic Frontiers, because the legacy that Sonic had of just being a slog, puts it just that much more worth noting this year. Like it was just one of those like wow, I did not expect Sonic to actually be good this time.
Oh,
And it's
okay.
really it's really enjoyable. It's really enjoyable. I'm not gonna say like, oh, it's one of the best things out there. You need it. Like, no. It's for a Sonic game. Like, this should be more elaborated on.
Gotcha.
You know, like I'm surprised it hasn't yet.
Well,
You
I'm
know,
glad they're doing well. So
Yeah,
or like
I'm glad Sonic
Sega's
Team
finally-
just finally pulled something out of their ass that
Yeah.
was really good. Now, where's our Billy Hatcher 2? And yeah, there's that. So,
Okay.
but as far as everything else, looking forward to games. 2023 doesn't really have much yet, but what are you hoping to see?
Okay, I would say two things is one of my warnings right now, Armored Core. Everybody's like, it's a second coming of Jesus. Like, I tread lightly because just look at what was the one game on Switch that just came out?
Daemon X Machina?
Yeah,
that just came out, right?
exactly, right? Yeah, well, because like everybody's like really hyped for Armored Core, but it's like nobody bought Daemon X Machina.
Well, here's one thing that I wanted to at least mention too. Armored Core, like in history, was like From Software's cash cow, but they didn't have to sell too much for it to make money. We are in an era where you have to sell 3 million. You don't even have to sell 500,000. Like, for companies that big with a titanic like push, like that requires a lot of like budget and everything. You have to like sell 3 million or 4 million because it's going to be this return of this legacy game and stuff. And so expecting like, oh, it's going to be just as good as it used to be and stuff, but it wasn't really that popular back then.
Yeah, well,
You know, so we got like put that scope too. Like, be aware, be wary, because they
Yeah.
weren't that popular previously.
yeah. So
Yeah.
we'll see where it goes, but I do have to warn people that there's two versions of mecha games that you have to account for, because either you have like slow moving tanks to where you have to micromanage, you know, your fuel, you have to manage your ammo, you have to manage your armor, and then there's like maintenance you have to account for, and then all that micromanaging, and people like that whole mecha concept.
That was because when you're buying a mecha game, you know, you want to have feel like you're driving a mecha.
Or you have like Gundam Versus, where it's just you're shooting beams at each other. You don't have to worry about energy. You just pick up a health item and you're fully repaired, and you have to worry about like your armor and your micromanage.
This giant floating box in the middle of the city. Touch. Wow, I feel revived.
Yeah, so it's like you gotta find a good medium for that, and then everybody expects like one or the other, because if it leans too much in one way, it's like we'll just play the action game, or you're just gonna play a tank simulator, and that's Armored Core's kind of stuck in that.
Well, I think Armored
Identity.
Core is just stuck in that period just because it's a mech. It's a mech game, you know?
Yeah.
You're not going to fly around like to this extreme superhero thing at all, you
Yeah.
know? Like it's known to be that way. Like, it's had a record and a history of being that way. But it's not like other mech games where they're just like Steel Battalion. Words are hard. And it just be like a giant, just moving, lumbering like turtle of a mech, you know, with a giant ass controller that have no right to exist. But like, it's still like, it's one of those games that just, it could sell 500 and be quote unquote successful.
Yeah.
If 500 was still profitable, 500,000 is still profitable. You know? Like, it's really hard to do that now, because there's companies out there that now, with Atelier Rising and Atelier Ryza 3 coming out, and it becoming more of a, like, I'm seeing Atelier rise to fame. Atelier is going to start having to make like 1 million copies to sell.
Yeah.
You know, because now there's going to be a lot of people like,
They have
you
a
better
bigger
make
budget.
it. You better make it bigger because I want a bigger Atelier game. But Atelia's always been like, I think honestly the way it was always a niche like game, and I think because of all the weird like inventory management and time management and stuff like that.
Yeah.
was a huge thing for it. And cutting out all of that might as well just be an RPG with crafting.
Yeah.
You know, like there's concerns that I think Ryza might reach to that point where it's just another RPG with just some crafting elements instead of the other way around.
Yeah.
Like,
so
I'm worried about that.
With Armored Core, action game or mecha game? Where will it be?
Yep. So that's a good warning. What about your next thing?
Okay, so the one game I'm looking forward to for 2023 is mecha game, right? Sensuality. Check it out if you guys haven't seen it. Bandai Namco just kind of like, hey, here's a 1 minute trailer, and then they kind of like never talked about it again. So we'll see where it goes. Hopefully it comes out this year, or if not, they're just kind of like, forget what you just saw, because it's basically you have like a waifu mecha, and it looks like Lost Planet and Xenoblade X, and it's really awesome, and I want it so badly. Like, I don't care about the waifu thing. It just looks like you got an alien world that you explore, and you got to kill giant
I press
monsters
X
with
to
it.
doubt the fact that you not care about the waifu mecha thing.
Skip the cutscene I want to play, right?
Liar.
But we'll see where it goes.
You'll have that on your phone in no time.
But it's given me my awesome wallpapers, but yeah, it's just I don't know, it looks really good, and it's just hopefully we see it. But on top of like something that isn't just a AAA being shoved into your face, it's something I really want to play, so
Right.
We'll see if they do it.
Well, let's hope so. I honestly, I kind of hope that like Armored Core does become like a really good game, because that'll just be finally another like tentpole that From Software can work with when, you know, push forward.
Yeah, instead of just being the
Dark Souls guys.
company. Yeah.
Because if they have those two things can like funnel money into a new idea.
Yeah.
And maybe they might go back to Lost Kingdoms and make that again. Ooh, yeah. But enough about, you know, semantics and
So what about
wishful
your
thinking.
2023 warnings and
2023 warning
and promises?
I'm gonna say, I'll just go like all like conspiracy theorists, just stack silver, man. No, I don't know. Like, I don't know what would be a good warning. Like, honestly, we've talked about it a couple times. Just like wait until the game's like closer to release and look at some live footage then.
Yeah.
You know, like a lot of this has been a lie. You know. But you know, that's basically me just parroting the same thing again and again and again. And the other warning is companies need to port some of the classic games if they want my money. That's it. That's basically it. You know, a warning to developers, warning to, you know, consumers. Perfect. You know,
Yeah.
like physical games.
Give us physical. Yeah.
Yeah, Sega, give me Persona 3 and 4 physical. What the hell is wrong with you guys?
It's
Damn.
on Game Pass.
No. Shut up. Feel bad.
They're
Feel
gonna
shame.
do it. They're gonna do it.
Anyway, future game. Oh, I don't know. Honestly, like I don't really like. I kind of just want Advance Wars to release. Like, that's kind of all I want right now.
No, that's
But,
that's a good game too.
I'm hearing that WayFor is going to be announcing a new game here soon. From one of their developers, and from my hearing, it's probably another Shantae, which I'm actually excited about. The Seven Sirens was actually not bad. I enjoyed it a lot.
Okay.
Way better than their like kickstarted one of Half Genie Hero. Like way better.
Oh, okay.
So I will be excited about that. There's talk that later in 2023, Shovel Knight's developer Yacht Club will probably release like at least some kind of playable state of their new Zelda-ish game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to that. But honestly, there isn't really anything yet. But I think there hasn't been any huge like announcements since E3, and a lot of the major announcements that have come out are like, yeah, it's, you know, it's already out for the holiday season and stuff. You know, there's the teasers and stuff that came out in the Game Awards, but like a lot of them were just bland.
AAA stuff being shoved in your face.
Yeah. Hey man, did you see that this and this was going on? Don't worry, we have some progressive nonsense to add to it. Yeah. I'm like, but
Hype,
I don't really care about that.
Hype. Yeah.
You hyped? Well, you better play it, or else you're not going to be cool with your friends. You like being cool with your friends, right?
You don't wanna miss
better
out,
start
do you?
smoking. Like it's dumb.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the announcements, even Nintendo's announcements weren't even that smart.
Yeah.
Like they literally 2 weeks after that they announced Trails into Reverie's localization. It released in Switch like a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
And The Legend of Heroes is this very expansive, long game. And Nippon Ichi Software and Falcom just announced that they're releasing Trails into Reverie, and we even covered on that too. And Ys, they announced they announced and revealed what the new Ys game is, Ys 10s and stuff. And then they announced a remake of an older Ys game exclusive for the Switch. That happened like a couple weeks after the fact, and that was more exciting. You know, like
yeah. Well,
I'm not,
is it
you know,
just
I'm not like I'm not
is it
huge.
just because they're too small that VGA doesn't give a shit? Probably.
No, I think VGA just doesn't give a shit about anime as fuck games.
Oh, okay.
Like Trails of the Legend of Heroes Trails series, Trails of Cold Steel, Trails into Sky, Trails into Zerd, you know, the whole damn thing, right? It is such a convoluted story anyway. Like it's one like I'm impressed that they've managed to keep this going for as long as it has, like without any like break in continuity. Like it's top props to them, okay?
Yeah.
But do you honestly think a game like that would get a crowd of dude bros excited?
Oh, okay.
No. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
You know, that's like announcing a Digimon game on that thing.
Yeah.
No matter how good a Digimon game will be. Like they're doing a completely re-envisioned version of Digimon World 1. I am excited as fuck about it. But I know dude bros at VGA were like, what? What is going on? I don't want dinosaur fighting game.
Yeah.
And everybody else who is actually like knows what Digimon is going to have a heart attack having to hear crap like that, you know?
It's interesting too, because VGA is kind of stuck in that middle ground of, do we cater to the normie or do we cater to the hardcore?
The normie, because the normie is going to talk about what they just saw. Oh my god, it's so hype. I gotta be hype about this thing that they told me to be hype about.
Yeah, I know.
Because
but
the average person...
They're still kind of like... Even most award shows are stuck in that like middle...
Yeah, not even like... They just appeal to the normies because they know they're going to talk about it more. Like, oh my god, I'm excited about this game of XYZ. They're going to just bop the bomb, yo! Whereas, like, even if they announced a Falcon game at the VGAs, most normies are going to be like, why am I even excited about this?
Yeah.
Whereas, like, Falcon fans are going to be like, why is this even here? Why couldn't they just announce it on their own? You know,
Hype.
because it's one of those
hype,
things.
right.
Like, it's just, and you're paying for it. Like, most of the awards, I feel like, are fake. You know? They're paying for the coverage.
Yeah.
You know, so. But yeah, like, those games. And then the one that I saw on Twitter, Lunistus, I was more excited about.
Okay.
It was like, Lunistus, coming out next week. I'm like, shit, dude, I'm down with that.
Yeah.
So, it's one of those situations like looking into next year, like, everything's overhyped to a point where I'm like, I'm not feeling it. You know?
Okay.
Like, not even the Bayonetta Origins game. Like, I'll give it a go. I look forward to playing it, but I'm not hyped about it. I'm not excited about it.
Also makes me feel like, what is it, that No More Heroes game, because it was not 3, but
the Travis Strikes Back, whatever.
Yeah. I was really hyped for it, and then I played it, and I was like, it's not bad.
Yeah, it was okay. You know,
but I wasn't itching to play it.
But I think honestly, what's his name? Suda51. He shouldn't. Pardon me. He shouldn't have tried to leverage Travis Strikes Back sales to justify No More Heroes 3.
Yeah.
That was dumb. That was stupid. You shouldn't have done that. Also, you shouldn't have done what he did at the end of 3. That also pissed me off.
Just give us Killer 7 too.
That's basically it. So But yeah, there isn't much to look forward to yet, but I think there's going to be some good games to be looking forward to.
Sensuality. I hope it's good.
So, but yes, is there anything else you would like to talk about?
I think that wraps up the year. What do you think?
that does indeed wrap up the year. Whew, it's been heavy, man. It's been a long year. Like, even like on a political spectrum, I don't want to dig deep into it. It's been a mess. It's been a mess, but we've been able to manage through a lot of it. So,
Mausoleums don't keep themselves clean.
Right? It's getting all muddy and moldy and stuff, and I'm finding bodies I shouldn't have even found, and one of them moves. I didn't even do anything.
Burn it all.
I can't. Like, you don't have any torches in here. So anyway, I'd like to thank you all for listening all the way to this extended little retrospective of ours. If you like our content, feel free to like, subscribe, and please share our content with other people. And as always, we will see you on the other side. Hey everyone, this is Paraka.
And Ghost.
I would like to say thank you for listening to our podcast.
If you like our content, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe and share our video with your friends.
You can also follow and support us on other social media such as Minds and Rumble. Links in the description below.